green shit.
I'm sure it sparkles.
She does. She gets to kick Sauron's ass a little in this next film, so.
Philippa, have you recovered from me smoking you in the Tolkien trivia contest in August of 2010? Have you sought therapy from me crushing you?
No, but it was very touching because your very beautiful wife came up afterwards and said, I think this is the greatest night of his life.
Peter challenged me to a trivia contest with Philippa, and I won. And I won, and it was. And as I said to you, you don't understand. I'm an athlete who's been training his entire life for a race he never knew was coming.
I think it might have been a little closer than you remember, though.
We could rebound the challenge for charity.
Do you remember what you won on? What was the winning answer? Do you remember?
No, but I do remember when Stephen Fry said, "Oh, you've really got the crowd on your side." Is when you asked me who Goldberry was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you actually asked me what Goldberry was, not who Goldberry was.
Oh, did I? I think I did.
Yeah. So you were just trying to trip me up with the old River Daughter answer.
You know what was really funny? Because it was me and Stephen, and we were asking each other questions. So I think nobody else in the room knew whether we were getting them right or wrong.
Well, no, that was in the final round.
Yeah.
Stephen Fry and I designed questions for the two of you to start with, and then you guys ended up just when it all got a little bit crazy at the end, you guys just started firing really hard ones at each other. And none of us really knew. Yeah, that's right.
Well, the clincher for me was when you asked me Goldberry, and I put my head down on the table, and everyone thought I didn't know what the answer was. But I was just trying to think of the first line of the poem. And so I raised my head and said, "Oh, slender as a willow wand, oh, clearer than clear water. Fair river daughter, oh, springtime and summertime, spring again after. Oh, wind on the waterfall and the leaves lie." I think probably.
Normally winners are very modest, aren't they?
I'll never have this opportunity again. Now, I've noticed that there is a difference in class in Elfendom. And Orlando, your father does not want you to date down. Perhaps the two of you could address this. Is there a social message in this movie?
Yes, I'm a low-class elf. Is that what you want me to say?
You are.
You want me to admit it to the
You're
world?
a trash elf.
Low-class, trashy elf. But my shit still sparkles.
Was that on your resume? Is that how you got the gig?
That was on their wish list.
We've heard Evangelina Liz's shit sparkles. We like her as an elf.
Well, Peter, I think based on the time, I think maybe we've. Where are we?
We're okay. We can do.
We're okay.
Do
All right.
Another 5 minutes or 10 minutes of questions.
All right.
Have you run out of questions?
Any of the actors here? I'd like to ask about your experience in New Zealand. You know, Lee, for instance, have you been to New Zealand before?
No, I'd never been before, but I absolutely made the most of it. I love being outside and hiking and stuff, and you can't find a better place for that than New Zealand. Like, awesome hikes. Really, really fun.
I had a feeling when we went down there again, Peter invited us down very kindly. My wife and my two boys and I were extras. And we spent 2 weeks down there. I had a strong feeling that I should never leave New Zealand.
Yeah.
You know, it was really like, this is where I will be a man. You know what I mean? It calls to you and says, are you as raw as this mountain is? Could you carve out a life? Plus, no bears.
That's right. No snakes.
Does anybody have any anybody do any adventure travel down there? Because there are a lot of ways to kill yourself not being killed by an animal in New Zealand. Did anybody take advantage of any of this sort of adventure?
I went up, I went heli, I can say this now because I'm out of contract, but I did got a glacier while I was down there.
And you didn't tell anyone?
They helicoptered us up to the middle of the Fox Glacier and then left us there for a few hours.
Brilliant.
And we went through ice caves. Yeah. And then me and Aidan jumped out of an aeroplane as well at one point.
Yeah,
It's the sort of country where you can do a lot of that jumping.
Yeah.
I jumped out of things, jumped off things. Anything I could get thrown out of or off, I would
pretty much did.
So Orlando, did you move down there for any period of time?
Like 3 years.
Yeah.
No, I mean, after the movie was over, I understood
Yes.
you stayed for a while.
I've sort of come and gone a bit, but it's funny actually, because there was an email exchange between me and Dom and Elijah just 2 days ago talking about getting residency in New Zealand. Dom was like,
We
"I'm gonna
realized
start
it's a little
applying
bit
for
more
residency."
complicated than we initially thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Paulie throws himself off anything and with a bungee on. It's like, I mean, unbelievable.
Did any of you come to the stories of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit for the first time through the films? And did it make you then go back to the books, or did you say, to hell with that, I'm never going to read them? Elijah, did you go back and read the books?
I actually haven't. Truth be told, I still haven't read the books.
Never?
I know what I'm getting you for
I'm-
Christmas.
Listen, I've said this before.
Get out of here.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Elijah, do you know how to read?
I do.
Because you've been in show business since you were a child.
I read The Hobbit when I was a child, and it was a big, big book for me. And I had The Lord of the Rings on my shelf, and it was one of those things that was very daunting and was kind of always there, and I thought, I'll get to that one day. And then these movies came about, and I felt like I was living it and experienced it in such a profoundly deep way that I never really consulted the books. I imagine it's something that I will go back to, but I don't know. It was such an experience over the course of such a long period of time.
I loved reading Lord of the Rings so much when I was young that when I got about 25 pages to the end of Return of the King, I took my book and I reverently closed it and I said, I will never read those pages because this story must go on.
Oh.
And I have never read those pages.
Really? Wow, that's beautiful.
Ever.
Oh, Evangeline is a serious geek, a serious Tolkien geek.
No, I love Tolkien, but I don't know squat. Like, I can't remember the names, the places, so I fail every Tolkien geek test, don't try. But I love him.
Oh, he's so disappointed. He's ready to
No, I'm not
take it all down.
disappointed at all. Actually, you've never been more attractive. What do you think of my hair? Should I keep this? Fantastic. Andy,
Hello.
tell me about the work. Tell us all about the work you're doing in London now with your company.
Well, look, I mean, it's where I'm at today came immediately in the last weeks of doing Return of the King, because on my birthday, it was the 20th of April, and I think it was 2003, the last pickups for Return of the King, and it was my birthday, and Peter asked me on that day, it was literally right at the end of the pickups to play King Kong, and I suddenly realised I thought my life was going to go back to normality, to play normal characters in normal films, a normal traditional way, and then the idea, it sort of hit me overnight. Hold on a minute, I've just made this 3.5-foot ring junkie, and now I'm going to play a 25-foot gorilla. Wow. This means typecasting is no more. This means you can do anything. You can put on one pair of spandex suits and go and enjoy yourself on the carpet and play any manner of things. And